Hello and welcome. I am Jude Ahir Arpapan, and now I am first introducing my group mates for this project. And my group mates are Miss Christine Baybayon, Miss Christine Adelie Blas, Miss Lori Ann Unina, Miss Rain Aligado, Miss Renalyn Araneta, and last but not the least is Miss Sheila Fidelia. So, today we are going to discuss the concept introduced in Alvin Toffler's Future Shock, which is the overchoice. So, Toffler describes how in modern society, people are confronted with an overwhelming number of choices, different choices in nearly every aspect of their lives. While having many options, as we have or can seem empowering, it often leads to stress, confusion, and dissatisfaction. Now, let's explore how overchoice impacts individuals and our personality, and also the impacts of this in our society.
According to Toffler, is the result of living in a world where people are constantly bombarded with an abundance of options, whether it's choosing what to eat, what career path to pursue, or which product to buy. The sheer volume of choices can be overwhelming. In the past, people had fewer options, but today, technology and globalization have made it so that we're constantly presented with an expanding range of possibilities.
But Toffler argues that having too many choices doesn't necessarily lead to greater satisfaction. In fact, it often leads to feelings of confusion, anxiety, and even regret. When we are faced with too many options, we struggle to make decisions and become uncertain about whether we've made the right choice. This is the core of the problem with overchoice.
For individuals, overchoice can create paralysis by analysis. When there are too many options to consider, people can be stuck in the decision-making process, unable to choose at all. This happens in various areas of life, from shopping for a new car to making career decisions. The fear of making the wrong choice or missing out on something better can make decision-making exhausting.
Additionally, even after we make a decision, we may feel dissatisfied. The idea of what could have been can linger in our minds, leading to regret and second-guessing. For example, when you buy a new gadget, you might wonder if you should have picked a different model even though both options are similar in quality. Toffler suggests that dissatisfaction is a direct result of having too many alternatives.
Good day, I'm Renalyn P. Araneta, and my topic is about the effect on society and consumerism. On a social level, overchoice plays a significant role in the rise of consumerism. Companies create more and more products and services to cater to every possible need, hoping to attract customers. While this creates an illusion of freedom and empowerment, it often results in individuals coming trapped in an endless to greater happiness or fulfillment as people continue to search for the perfect choice that may not even exist.
I'm Baybayon Christine. Toffler points out the surplus of choices can also contribute to social fragmentation. People are encouraged to make decisions based on personal preferences rather than collective values or social norms. This can create divisions and inequality as people's choices increasingly reflect their individuals' desires rather than shared experiences. Overchoice can also exacerbate feelings of isolation as we spend more time making individual decisions and less time engaging in meaningful communal activities. That's all. Thank you.
I am Mr. Jude Barpat. So now we will discuss the coping mechanisms, or how do we cope with overchoice or feeling of having overchoice in our work. So how can we cope with the overchoice? Toffler suggests that the solution is not to eliminate choices entirely, but rather to find ways to simplify our decisions or decisions making. One approach is to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of trying to make the best choice out of an overwhelming number of options or choices, we can try to limit ourselves to a few good options and make decisions based on our core values or needs. So, aside from that, we can cope with this overchoice by limiting our choices in setting our priorities. So, what are our priorities, and identifying key criteria for decision making, and also as accepting that not every choice that we will make will be perfect. And also we will consider constraints because it is as helpful in narrowing down options. It essentially focuses on what truly matters and we can avoid trying to evaluate every single possibilities. So these are the key possibilities or strategies that we gathered. First is to prioritize and filter. So we will identify the most important factors, set decisions boundaries, so allocate a specific time to research and make a choice, accept imperfection, use decision rules. Example is creating simple guidelines to guide your choices and choosing the first option that meets your basic criteria. We can also seek external advice from others. So we can consult experts or our trusted friends for input on complex or difficult decisions. We can reduce information overload when avoid comparing too many options simultaneously. You can embrace constraints. Sometimes limitations can simplify your decision-making process, and we can practice mindfulness. So we will be aware of our decision-making process and acknowledge when we feel overwhelmed. So, with all of this, in conclusion, instead of trying to consider every available option, we can consider limiting our options to just a few of the most important. So we have to set our priorities straight, or the relevant ones. And we can identify criteria or rubrics that are important to our decision-making and use them to filter out our choices or options that can help us focus on what really matters the most or what is important to us. So that is how we can cope up with overchoice.
Another strategy is to embrace satisficing, a term coined by psychologist Herbert Simon. Instead of striving for the perfect choice, we aim for a decision that is good enough. This mindset helps reduce the stress of overchoice and allows us to move forward with confidence, knowing that not every decision needs to be flawless.
In conclusion, while having many options seems like a privilege, it often results in anxiety and dissatisfaction. A phenomenon known as overchoice, Toffler's future shock teach us that navigating a world with too many choices requires finding balance. By simplifying our decision-making process and focusing on what truly matters, we can mitigate the negative effects of overchoice and live more fulfilled lives. So thank you for listening to our presentation.